2026, and you're listening to the Tech Addicts Podcast. Brace yourself. This week, the Samsung MovingStyle. Honor Unleash, the MagicPad 4. There's exciting Linux 7 news. The RAM shortages are hitting the Steam Deck. We ramble on about Gemini's new feature structure, and there's scary martial arts robots out there. Hello and welcome to the Tech Addicts Podcast. It's me, Gareth, and this is Ted. Hi, Ted.
Hello everyone, and welcome to you, to my voice from a sunny and windy north. Do you know, I almost opened the door today because it's so bloody hot here. This is the beginning, you know. This is the beginning of the whining about the summer months. Is it sunny there?
We're going to have to deal with this, people. 6 months.
Is it sunny there?
It is. The sun is beating down. I'm actually looking at my security camera right now, and I live opposite a big old folks' home that has a yellow wall across it, and the yellow wall is bouncing the sun back, and I can't actually see the wall.
Tis a problem. Yes, indeed.
But it's welcome after so many weeks of doom and gloomy, horrible clouds and rain, and things can now dry out a bit. That'd be great.
Do you know that this is our season finale? I can't believe it. We don't have a scheduled Tech Addicts podcast until the first Sunday in April after today.
Well, most of our listeners will probably go, oh, thank goodness, we'll just give it a bit of a rest.
Yeah. Yes. We may have to review this policy. We'll get letters.
Well, we'll see what happens in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, we do have a few things to talk about. I don't think there's anything in the way of feedback or comments that have been sent in to us from anyone in particular.
Don't think so. No.
We haven't raised anyone's cockles. I don't know. We haven't caused people to feel the need to take to the keyboard to tell us things.
No.
Which I suppose is a good thing. We haven't pissed anyone off. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So, straight into the news, because Samsung's MovingStyle. This is a fairly confusing but intriguing portable display. It's a 27-inch portable touchscreen that defies easy categorization because it features... it's got Dolby Atmos speakers built into it, a 3-hour battery, runs Tizen OS. The same OS is on their smart screen TVs, but it's not a TV. It doesn't have a coaxial input. It's not a proper monitor per se. It's got limited ports which is not ergonomically suited for working on a desk, and because of the way it's built. And also, it's not a tablet. And it weighs 57 pounds and doesn't have S Pen support, and it doesn't run Android. But it does support Samsung's TV Plus service, the Samsung Art Store, and can be accessed from Galaxy phones and tablets via the DeX system. The screen is 120 Hz refresh rate. It's QHD, and it's strange. Ted, what hell is this?
They announced this last year at one of the shows. This is not new news, but I think that the new bit here is that they are coming possibly closer to releasing it. And I think it looked really nice. I like the way that it's got a handle on it, so you can... The stand turns into a handle, so if you want to carry it with you to a meeting or a friend's house or whatever you're doing, it's really easily transportable. It appears to have 2 USB-C inputs on the back and an HDMI, or it might be a DisplayPort, I can't quite see. And basically you can use it for whatever you want. I think it's really nice, and I really want one. I could see me using this in the bedroom as a TV. Well, not a traditional. I don't watch TV anyway anymore, so what I can put my Plex into it or whatever, and then if you want to move it somewhere else and use it with your computer or your Raspberry Pi or just whatever you want to do, you can just it's really flexible. I'm not quite sure about the Tizen thingy, mind you.
Yeah.
But if you're already baked into the Samsung system, it says it even supports the Now Brief, which presumably runs through the Samsung TV software via Tizen, not through the DeX and the Android system. But maybe by the time it actually reaches the release date, they'll have built in Android as well. I think that would make a lot of sense if they did. I really fancy one. Dread to think how much it will cost.
Yeah, where it says it runs the Samsung TV Plus, it's going to have some form of operating system that's going to run that. So Tizen's probably the best suited one there, and they're looking for a particular purpose for this, as opposed to it just being a giant touch screen or even tablet where it would run Android. That means a greater layer of support is going to be needed to be put in there as well. But I suppose it's a portable screen that has a wee bit more to it, a wee bit more smart without being a full smart screen. It is a peculiar one. I do actually like it as well. I think it's quite novel, and it might be useful for people who are going to meetings. But on the back you can see it has those pogo pins, and then there's an image of someone who's attached it to some kind of stand. So I imagine there's going to be various different things that are the peripherals that you can attach to this, or like a wall mount or a desk mount or a floor mount, and then you'd have to buy those from Samsung as well, which would be costly, but it'll allow people to be able to just do meetings on the fly if they're happy enough to carry a huge amount of stuff with them.
Oh, it's got a battery built in. Mind you, it only lasts for 3 hours, it says, which is a bit of a limitation, I suppose. But then it's a big screen. It's 27 inches, so it's probably not surprising.
Yeah. Did I not say the battery? No.
I might have missed it, sorry. Perhaps I turned off. Perhaps I was looking at the
3 hour
blazing
battery,
sun.
Yeah, it doesn't say what size of battery, but they say 3 hours, so that must be 3 hours of continuous use. But at QHD as opposed to Ultra HD 4K, that's a bit more sensible, I suppose. And also, it's going to be a bit more compatible with various devices that they happen to throw at it.
I reckon it will cost £2,000.
No, that's stupid for a 1080p display that you carry with you. No. That's stupid. I probably said that.
Anyway, I like it. I like the look of it. I like the handle. I like the handle that transforms from being the stand. That's really cool.
Yes, double jobbing. Nothing better. Nothing quite like it. Okay, next up is the Honor MagicPad 4. This is getting its global debut ahead of the Samsung Galaxy S12, as Notebook Check quite rightly points out. Honor has officially confirmed that the MagicPad 4 tablet is arriving, and it's got a display that is 12.3 inches with a 165 hertz refresh rate. It's got a 10,000 milliamp hour battery inside of it, which is quite nice, and it's got a 5mm thin body. It's powered by the Snapdragon 8 series processor. That's rumoured to be the 8 series, which would be the Gen 5 version. And it's expected to arrive on April 1st. There's a competition as well where you can pay £1 and potentially win one.
Wow.
That's a strange thing to do. And if millions of people enter that competition to try and win one, then Honor's onto something there.
Yeah. Very smart the move that is.
Well, we should be seeing it out in Mobile World Congress in Barcelona fairly soon. Excited about this? Would you be?
What's interesting about it, I think, I've never had a tablet of this size. The biggest tablet I've had is a, usual 11-inch tablet kind of size, but I'm not quite sure what I would do with a 12.3-inch device. I suppose some people will be replacing their desktop with it, or replacing their laptop with it, or whatever. But the interesting thing here is that they've got a 10,000 milliamp hour battery in it, as you said, with a less than 5 millimeter thick housing, and maybe that's where these devices are going. They tried doing thin phones, which has been a bit of a flunk for most OEMs, it seems. They're kind of shying away from that now. But maybe going thin on tablets is the thing to do, to make them very, very easily slip into a briefcase or a bag or something, with a thin keyboard to move around between meetings or whatever. Yeah, I think it looks really nice, and I think it looks nice because the Honor Magic stuff is pretty good. We've been playing with that in PSE recently, and we quite like the Honor stuff, but very, very thin and big size and almost desktop replacement. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I do. I like the larger screens. I can. It's one of those things that you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. I've got the Samsung Galaxy S9 standard version, not the Ultra or anything like that.
Yep.
And there's points where I'm sitting there thinking, "Ach, I wish I had gone for the Ultra." But then there's points where I'm sitting there going, "I'm glad I went for this." When I'm sitting on a train and not overtaking the other person beside me space with a tablet. So, I think you sometimes think, "Oh, I wish I had two tablets. One that was really big for home use, and then one that's this size that I can take with me."
Yeah.
What you need is a big, oversized screen that you can take with you and carry alongside you. Oh, wait, hang on. We've already covered that. Yeah. Right. Next up is Linux. Linux 7 is coming. And that's exciting because it's shaping up to be one of the most significant kernel updates in years. And it's following the release of 6.19 and Linus Torvald's announcement of a version bump. So there's going to be Rust integration, which is no longer experimental. And as of I was in the Maintainers Summit of 2025 or something like that, back in December. I think I read something about that in this article, which makes the core of the Linux kernel the first full merge of window post-production, bringing more memory safety improvements. So it's got a better kernel in there. There's going to be scheduler updates as well, which include long-awaited merging of time slice extensions, which is nearly a decade in the making, allowing processors to request temporary CPU time extensions during critical situations to avoid thread contention. I hope you're keeping up, Ted. You've got questions about that, I'm sure.
You lost me hours ago.
Well, I had to Google that and take notes, and that's what I managed to derive from it. So hopefully someone somewhere knows what I'm talking about, and other people are going, "Wow, that sounds fabulous."
How does this impact for us with Linux Mint and Cinnamon? Does this sit behind all of that, or is this something else completely?
Well, it'll come to the mainstreams of Linux, and then the repos will gradually adopt it, and you'll see whenever Linux Mint puts out version, I don't know, 25 or something like that, we'll probably have the Linux 7 kernel. I don't think they're going to instantly be compatible with it. They need to start rewriting things so that things work better, and there's no potential exploits there, because it'll be well worked out for the Linux mainstream users. But for those
so it's a bit like having an Android phone and using Samsung's One UI skin over the top, and you're kind of trusting
Yeah.
that eventually, when Google update the Android version, that Samsung's One UI will catch up with it in the front end.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. It's a
Hmm.
good way to put it, I suppose. Some people will go, "Oh no, I think you'll find that it's this," but that's not a bad description. Yeah.
Okay.
Other places there's container workloads which are going to benefit from a new OpenTree namespace flag uh, in the OpenTree bracket. Is reducing redundancy, reducing redundant mount copying. And benchmarks show roughly 40% performance improvements when creating containers. Again, Ted, you can tell us all about that later on. There's going to be expanded hardware support, which will include Intel, AMD, NVIDIA GPUs, Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 display ports, and most notably, native support for Rock Band 4 guitar controllers on PS4 and PS5. So you'll be able to use those on your Linux computer, which is what everybody's been screaming out for the last couple of years. There's going to be the XFS file system, which gains the ability to auto-detect and fix errors without requiring a reboot. And that's one of the things that a lot of people in Linux like to pride themselves on. Whenever things happen, you don't necessarily need to reboot your computer as frequently as the likes of Microsoft. But, it still is required for various different things. This should limit it down even further. So even though the version number is jumping largely, there a lot of what's happening underneath is meaningful improvements in security and performance and hardware compatibility, and it should benefit all of us desktop users plus developers and server administrators all across the world. Very excited about it, but it'll be a while before it dribbles down. And to be honest, I think for the lay users like you and I, we're not going to really notice too much, but it might speed up a few things here and there.
Except you might be able to, for example, buy a piece of hardware that's got a more up-to-date chipset instead of relying on some older one. Yeah.
True. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could work.
Okay.
Um, there's you do get that. Like I was telling you beforehand, because I have been using Bluetooth on my Linux desktop for a while, and I have a Bluetooth dongle that I plug in from. I've forgotten what they're called already.
Ugreen.
MPAL.
Oh.
Well, I bought a new one to take it up to Ugreen's 6.0 Bluetooth dongle, but it's not compatible with Linux, so hopefully we'll
Right.
see some sort of movement on that kind of thing. But it's those little things that just don't work out of the box, and you have to think about things before you buy them, do a bit of searching to see whether or not other people have had joy running it or not.
Although you might expect the people that run Linux Mint to be able to make those compatibility adjustments as well, so your dongle would work, or is that not true? It needs to be real base level, Linux that will make those hardware changes work.
No, I think that anyone could write a driver. I've got I've forgotten who made it. The Vocaster One, which is made
Yes,
by the people who made yours as well. What are they called?
focus right.
Focusrite. That's the one. And it's not compatible with Linux. Although a fella called Jeffrey Bennett, he went off and designed the driver and built the driver, and now I've got a little application that I run on my desktop that makes this work with Linux. So
Right.
if
Yeah.
something doesn't work, there's always someone out there that can make it work, and they seem to be dedicated to making it work as well. Maybe they just want to. They have a copy, or they have something that isn't working on their desk, and they've got the know-how to do it, so they go and do it.
Yep. Sure.
And I suppose that does happen to a certain extent on Windows, but maybe it just feels more unique on Linux.
Yeah, and certainly probably less bloated and less having to work with Microsoft's underlying code structure and all the rest of it. Whereas with Linux, it might be just easier to implement stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And
Do
the guy who's done it, he's really open to people doing bug reports and feature requests and things like that. I've asked him for one thing in particular, which I don't think he's got to just yet. It was a couple of years ago I asked for it, but I'm sitting waiting for an extra button to be added to do a particular thing. But there's absolutely no pressure for him to do it. I'm glad that it's working at any state, in any state at the moment, because it's a useful bit of hardware.
It's great when developers are accessible like that. My recent experience of that is using the Octopi launcher, and I was kind of in right at the beginning with that. And some guy sitting in his bedroom, no doubt, in Singapore, who has developed this, and it really works well. And anything you ask him within a day, sometimes less than a day, he'll come back and acknowledge it and put it on the pending pile to be working towards, and then he'll ask you, to test things with him, and it's really good when you can get alongside developers and they suddenly become human and not this blind. This team of people that is blind to you that sit in some high-rise office block somewhere in Malaysia or something, and never the. I tell you, someone else that's good at that at the moment anyway is Nothing. I've been feeding back some stuff to Nothing about the way they've screwed their OS on their phones, and you get a real personal comeback and that asks you to help develop it with them, and yeah, I really like that. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's useful. It's nice that it's able to be done. Okay. Next up is RAM shortages again, and it's getting serious. It's getting really serious. Steam Decks are now facing stock shortages amid this global RAM memory chip crisis. The Valve are experiencing issues being able to produce the Steam Deck for the price, I would imagine, or even just securing RAM and flash memory. And it's impacted the availability of new and the recertified refurbished models. At the moment, they've paused production of the 256 gigabyte LCD Steam Deck, and they haven't restocked it, which is a bit worrying. And they've raised the effective starting price of the $549 dollar 512 gigabyte OLED model. The shortages stem from this surging AI industry demand for memory components, and is expected to persist throughout the rest of 2026, unfortunately. What do you think?
The knock-on story of this, just that came out this morning, was XDA reporting that stocks have actually dried up. They don't actually say which model or whatever, but they're saying very clearly that Steam Deck vanishes from the EU as it slowly begins going out of stock worldwide. So much as we were kind of questioningly poo-pooing this whole RAM shortage thing, when you see a big company like this having an impact like this, you think, well, perhaps it is real after all.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things to take away from it is that despite its age, the Steam Deck really seems to be compelling value for a portable gamer, and the supply issues are raising the costs of the device. Now that it's a good few years old, I mean, anyone who's going to be needing to get their Steam Deck replaced, if they break it or damage it or lose it or get stolen, are going to have to pay a lot more for this old hardware. Whereas you'd expect it to drop in price gradually over the course of the years this has been out. It's quite a strange position that they're actually in with this, and no one could have imagined that this sort of thing would actually happen. There's a couple of bits of hardware out there now that are really quite old, but they're still selling. The Nvidia Shield TV springs to mind as a constant favorite, and people are constantly wanting that. And little things are going to become harder and harder to get. There's a Thompson's TV box that I've been looking at, thinking because I need a TV box for another TV in the house, and I've run out. And I'm just watching the price of it slowly go up because it's got 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM inside it. It's like, oh, balls. But it's a few years old now, so it's been out for a few years. I'm having to pay more for old hardware, and there's no new hardware arriving because why would a company go and design a new bit of tech to arrive on the market now whenever they're having trouble fulfilling the backlog for the older versions, which they usually are able to drop down in price to try and clear them.
If you want a Steam Deck 1 terabyte version OLED, you can apparently you can still buy one on Amazon UK. Mind you, it's not being sold by Amazon UK. It's some third party seller. 619 quid. And it looks like they're saying delivery on Tuesday, so they haven't completely run out of stock everywhere. There's also a 256 version and a 512.
Okay.
So perhaps they haven't caught up with everyone being out of stock quite yet.
Yeah, well, I wonder if it's going to be one of those things where you buy it and then you get an email saying, unfortunately, we're unable to do this. We'll hold your money for a month.
Yeah,
we might be able to get it to you next month,
yeah,
like we were
maybe.
saying with PlayStation 5s and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're going to have to do something about this, and sharpish.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the last thing we have to talk about is Ted's link to a video of some martial art robots doing a wee bit of a dance, which is very, very nice. But martial art robots, Ted, is this what we're going to see?
It's just
invading forces being...
It's just really impressive, isn't it? The stuff that they've programmed these humanoid robots to do. There's nothing really here to say about it that we haven't said already, except that they put this display on in this show, the 2026 Spring Festival Gala in China. And they've just basically put this dance routine thing where martial arts are being demonstrated, acrobatics by these things, and it's just phenomenal. It's just worth seeing. It's just under 5 minutes, this YouTube video, so anyone wants to waste 5 minutes of their life looking at this, I probably almost guarantee that you'll be really impressed with how human-like they are, I suppose. It's just amazing. Were you not impressed?
Oh, it was absolutely. I can't say I'd want to pay to go and see some dancing robots.
No,
than,
no.
On something like this, but it is an interesting proof of purchase. Now, there were two thoughts that popped up in my mind: as A, are these robots going to replace the dancing ladies in the red light districts? And B, if these martial arts trained robots were to become a common thing in the future, where women can carry around with them anti-attacker devices, are we going to have to walk around with little EMP devices as well in case we get attacked by an AI robot and we have to deploy an EMP to take it out?
You have one with you. You have your own humanoid robot bodyguard, and this thing's walking behind you anyway.
Oh, right, okay. So there's going to be underground, like cockfighting, with robots as well, where we have like Rambo 3, or Rambo 2. Was it? Yeah, it was Rambo 2. Where he's fighting underground and taking bets and things like that in the seedy world of robot fighting.
Humanoid robots, though, this is where it's going, isn't it? And they're already beginning to some companies are offering very basic kind of home assistant, so a humanoid shaped robot to put your laundry away. I think we covered that on a previous show, and it kind of works, and opening doors and closing doors and turning lights on and off and all that sort of thing, and walking around. And it reminds me of that TV show Humans, which was actually some years ago now, but that Gemma Chan character, who I can't remember her name
Any
now.
opportunity to get back
What's
there.
her? Yeah, I can't remember her character's name now. Anyway, presumably at some point in the future, when probably we're both dead, that we'll get to that, and robots that are capable of having sex with you and all sorts of stuff.
I was just thinking about them doing the ironing and stuff like that, and being able to empty the dishwasher and
Yeah,
the washing machine as soon as it's done.
yeah, exactly. Not
You could even get
tomorrow.
them to go outside and flap your smalls so you don't have to put them in the tumble dryer. They can wring them out very, very well so that you don't. That'll reduce your power bill in the month.
It's a shame that we're going to be dead and not see this.
You never know. It might come in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
Look how far the smartphone has come
yeah,
since the
yeah,
early
that's true.
2000s. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, worth a look at that YouTube video. Anyone that fancies seeing what tech is being pushed towards humanoid robots. End of.
And all. All right, next up, we're going to have a little bit of a banter because, Ted, you want to tell us about Sapphire.
This is the first. You remember on this show, more than once, I have complained about the fact that I've got this Lenovo Duet Chromebook, which is perfectly capable in almost every way of being a Chromebook Plus. But it's not a Chromebook Plus because it doesn't comply strictly with the camera, the chipset, the what else is it? It's got to have a keypad, a keyboard. Well, anyway, it seems as though they've adjusted their requirements of the Chromebook Plus status. And now this new one that's coming along called the Sapphire, again, it's a Lenovo one, I think. It's going to be the first, it might well be an aluminium device and not a Chromebook at all. But what the thinking is at the moment by Robbie over at Chrome Unboxed or whatever it's called, is that this is going to be the first Plus tablet, and this is what I've been banging on about. I couldn't see why we couldn't have a two-in-one basically that is also a Chromebook Plus, because you can't get, unless you've got a Chromebook Plus, you can't get in on the AI stuff. You can't get in on the Gemini built into the device and all of that stuff. We're starting to see that creeping in, but it's only with Chromebook Plus devices, and up to now you can't buy a tablet Chromebook Plus. And I think that the Chromebook tablet, the Duet style thing, is really ever so good. It's got pen support as well. It runs Chrome OS, as we know, and it works really, really well. But you can't get that AI stuff on it. This is the first one. Now, we've spoke on previous shows about Aluminium coming and the crossover between Aluminium, Chrome OS, and Android. Now, who knows where Sapphire is going to fit into that and how far away this is. But Robbie seems to think that Sapphire is not that far away, and that we could at last have a Chromebook Plus that's not forcing us to have a fixed keyboard on it, and it can have a two-in-one format. I really like it. Have you got a Chrome OS tablet, or am I the only one in this duo?
I think you are the only one in this duo, although I've got a 360 laptop, so I can turn it round and pretend it's a tablet.
Is it a Chromebook Plus though?
No.
No.
Although I did get it out and dusted off the other day, and made sure it was all up to date, and installed a few things because doing a bit more blogging now, trying to get back to the blogging thing. I don't always want to come up to my desktop, so I've sort of converted it into a dedicated machine just for that. But God, is it slow, and I don't understand why it's slowed down so much. Because I did a full
It's
power
because of
cycle on
Android.
it.
It's because of Android. If you, I guarantee you, if you took Android off of it and said no to the Android App Store stuff, you would instantly speed up. Absolutely no question. Because I've done this. I've done it myself. I've purposely taken it off when I thought the same thing, and it's a different machine afterwards. It's Android apps, the Play Store, that's slowing it right down. And this is one of the things about a Chromebook Plus. It's supposed to not have that problem.
Because it's got a faster processor, or
Well,
because
yeah,
they're
because
programming two different versions of Chrome to make you
no, no,
want to buy
no,
another one.
no, because you have got to have a faster processor. One of the Chromebook Plus things is you've got to have a certain level of processor, and this is one of the arguments with the Companio chipset, which is what Lenovo are saying, is that this chipset complies with the latest requirements for Chromebook Plus, but we're not allowed to call it a Chromebook Plus or get the Chromebook Plus benefits because of the other things, not because of the chipset. So yes, absolutely. Try it out, Gareth. Take off your Android. Just
I will.
power wash the device again, and I bet you'll see the same as I did.
I don't actually. Well, have I installed? But yeah, I have installed Linux because I don't want to use. I want to use Brave. I don't want to use Chrome itself. I
Ah,
will be using Brave. Yeah.
well, I don't know about the implications of that. I mean, that might be something else completely. I've never done that, so
Could well be. Well, it still works. I just have to be patient with it. It's back to the
yeah,
old days
yeah.
of having a crap computer.
Yeah, yeah, it does work. You're right. It's not a deal breaker as such. It's just annoying. And I took this to Gemini, and I said to Gemini, "This Chromebook is shit. It's so slow." And that was her answer. She said, "Just power wash it and don't." But mind you got to remember before you power wash it to turn off the Android the Play Store first, because if you don't, when you power wash it, when you fire it up from new, it defaults to having it on now. So you've got to make sure you go in before you power wash it and turn it off. Otherwise, it will reset it as to what it thinks you want afterwards. Um,
Okay, all right. Well, maybe have a go with that, and hopefully it'll breathe more life into it. But yeah, that's a good tip. You mentioning Gemini has been mentioned a few times. I suppose it's worth having a wee chat about the fact that Google One subscribers will maybe have well, you should have had an email at least to say that your Google One subscription has changed, and they've added in the Gemini Plus facility into your subscription. So, Ted, you subscribed to Gemini, and you're now getting the Google One, whereas I'm subscribed to Google One, and I'm now getting Gemini included, which is quite nice. But they have three tiers of Gemini. There's the Gemini Free, Gemini Plus, and then Gemini Pro. The Gemini Plus currently costs $8 a month, which you were happy to pay. Then there was Gemini Pro, which costs $20 a month. I figured it was probably worth having a wee chat about whether or not people realise that they're getting this and what they're getting for their money.
I'll just put a link into the show notes for you to see there, which was a story that I put into the Maybe group this morning. It just came out this morning, and that goes through, helpfully, a list of what you get with what version of Gemini. So it's an exhaustive list by the looks of it, and if people want to drill down to see what they're getting, then that I think that's doing it quite nicely. Where I'm sitting at the moment is between Plus and Pro. So Plus is 6.99 a month, and Pro is 18.99 a month. And there are some things, I think I was saying on the last show, there's some things that you can't get because it's only Plus. And some of the stuff is to do with AI in Google Drive and Google Docs, which is not critical, but it'll really quite nice to have and to see what's going on. But yeah, there's a big drill down in there. Don't forget also that some of this stuff only works in America. So this
Yeah.
this article has been written by an American reporter, and it's very American centric. So don't be surprised. If you want to do this and upgrade, get the list that's in this article and give it to Gemini and say to Gemini how much of this is not going to work because I'm in the UK, and let her tell you, and hope she gets it right. Or use ChatGPT or whatever you want, but try and get some further advice about the non-USA implementation. But yeah, does that help the chat that you wanted to have?
Well, kind of, yeah. I suppose the key takeaways from this are that the Google AI Pro costs, well, I think because it's American, $20 a month, and that gives you 2 terabytes of storage if you look at it from that way. And it also has higher usage limits compared to the lesser ones, and it's got access to the advanced AI tools. And then there's Google AI Ultra, which costs $250 a month, gives you 30 terabytes of storage, 12,500 AI credits, and the highest access to all their AI features. But it's not exactly, well, because it's all credit based and things like that, and accesses and things each month, you could find yourself running out quite early on in one area, whereas you're not using it in another area. And things like Notebook LM has 200 uses per user, and 100 sources and 200 chats, and audio overviews last 6. You can have 6 over a day, and video overviews you can have 6 over a day as well. Which it's difficult to quantify that as to how much you're going to use. Some months might be higher than others. They're rebranding Google One to Google One AI Premium, and then Google Advanced. So they've rebranded it from Google AI Premium to Google AI Pro and Google AI Ultra. So they're changing things around. So you have to determine what you're getting into there. There's new features like the AI mode with deep search and personal intelligence and enhanced image generation. And then there's the AI credits, which I was banging on about there, which introduced for Whisk and Flow, 2 tools that I've never heard of before. And or no, maybe I've heard of Flow.
Flow, yeah, Flow. Flow was the one that Gemini told me to use because I'd run out of credits. I was only allowed to create 3 videos in 24 hours, and then she said to me, because I complained to Gemini, and she said to me, "Well, that's okay. Just go and use Flow instead." And sure enough, you can go to Flow and you get a new bunch of credits. It seems. And this is
Right.
this is all under the Plus banner. This is not under the Pro banner.
Yeah. But then crucially, that AI Pro is available to the US, and then the AI Ultra is available to 150 plus countries.
No, we can get the Pro here as well.
Right. Okay.
So it's not just US for the Pro. They keep asking me to upgrade to the Pro, so I
Yeah.
can, yeah. But it may not be 150 countries. It may just be a handful. It happens to include the UK. I don't know.
Yeah. But then, in line with that, whenever I mentioned this to you earlier in the week, you mentioned about how ChatGPT have now changed their structure as well, and they've got a couple of different ones that might be direct competition to this. So you can now get, there's free, there's Go, there's Plus, and there's Pro. So free is obviously free, and it gives you a certain amount, a low amount. It doesn't tell you the limits. And then Go is usually, it's coming up in euros. I don't know why, but my VPN's on Ireland today. Go's coming up as €8 a month, and it's got a bit more, a little bit more, not much, but a bit more, and then Plus is €23,
I
and then
suppose
Pro is 230.
I suppose the trick is to just use all of them, and use all of them on the free level. And when you run out on one, just use another one.
Yeah, yeah. I have all three of them saved into a little bookmark folder on my bookmark bar, and then whenever I'm designing an image, because I like to do little images for the film reviews that I'm writing on my blog, I'll open all three of them, and then I'll just put the same prompt into each of the AI models, which is ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and then Grok, and then I'll just sort of pick the best and go with that and format it and put it into my banner image on the blog post. But ChatGPT, I would say, is by far and away the best, and I'd say 7 or 8 times out of 10 I'll use it, and then
Right.
Google Gemini sometimes comes in with a blinding one, but most of the time I'm kind of forget it and go with ChatGPT, and then
Right.
Grok. I think I've only ever used it once, but it always just ignores what you do and gives you kind of a flavour of what you've asked it to do. It's very much got its own ideas about things.
To be fair, though, that's one use case,
Yeah.
and people's mileage will vary depending on what they're doing, won't it?
Oh, absolutely. Whenever I write a review, I like to stick it into Gemini and to ChatGPT to ask it to kind of. I prefer it over spell checker and
Yep.
grammatical correction. I think it works an awful lot better than what's built into Google Docs, Libsyn, or not Libsyn, LibreOffice, or even Word. And I find it does a better job, and it'll maybe offer better suggestions for sentence construction and things like that. So when you do that, Gemini, I think, far outshines the rest. I don't think ChatGPT is particularly good at all, and Grok is just embarrassing.
Yeah. I'm just always, as you'd imagine, wanting to use Google first, and I do. I hardly ever touch the other ones, but when you suddenly realise that there are things you can't do unless you pay $17.99 a month, you start to think, well, I upgraded to $6.99 a month because I thought I could do this stuff. One of the examples is analysing folders in Google Drive, which I don't need to routinely do, I suppose, and it's just a nice to have thing because occasionally you might want to, or just be interested in it, or you want to find something easily or whatever. But because of all those tools are baked into the Google services, as I say, as you'd imagine, I want to keep it all inside Google. But yeah, when it's going to be costing more than double what I'm paying already, thinking that I'd upped my what's it. Unlike you, I don't use the storage instantly. 2 terabytes of storage for me is just pointless. I just don't use it. I'm still functioning on my 128 gigabytes very happily. I don't know why I've got 128. Most people have got 100. I got 128 because I was given 28 for life at some point with but when I bought a Chromebook or something, and so I've I've got this odd amount of storage.
No, I'm the same. I've got slightly over 4 terabytes, and I have no idea how. I
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
I think we had this discussion before. I even had to send you some evidence. But yeah, mine shows us 4.2 terabytes or something like that.
Very
I
strange.
don't have, but Notebook LM, I quite like the idea of Notebook LM, and I haven't really sat down with it to play with it, to see if I
I've
could utilize it. Do you
I've
use
had a
it for
play.
anything?
I've had a play with it. I haven't. I wouldn't say I've used it for anything, but I've played with it and I've tested it and I've gone off to the internet and like if I'm going to write a phone, I think the way I tested it was that I was going to write a phone review, and I decided to let's see what Notebook LM can come up with. So I went off to the internet and I got loads of URLs from different reviews, people that had already reviewed it, put them all in the sources on the left, and then I got some videos from YouTube and I chucked all those in, and then I said to Notebook LM, right, make me a my own review, no more than 5,000 words, with all this stuff, and it did, and it kind of worked. It's not what I wanted because it had none of my character in it and my style and what I usually. Well, some people might say that's a benefit, but it didn't look like it was me that had written it, which is fair enough, because it wasn't. So I didn't use it, but. When you go to these tech sites, people are all over Notebook LM. They're all saying it's changed my life and it does this for me and it does that for me. So certainly, if you can play with it a bit more and push it in more directions, I'd be interested to find out what you discover.
Well, I was looking at it from a different point of view, where I've got a couple of things going on at the moment. I went on a cruise last year and it didn't work out to the best, and I've got a complaint going on, and there's a bunch of different. I've got a load of PDFs, a few written documents, and a few emails and things like that, and I've got them all saved into a folder, and I'm constantly having to go through them. And I was thinking that if I take all of those and throw them into Notebook LM, it can analyse them, and then I can ask it questions like, what date was the cruise? What date did the toilet break? And those sorts of things, so that I can quickly come back with an answer. And I think that's kind of more what this is based toward, and professionals would be using that to handle projects that they're dealing with, and you can do that for around the house as well, if on a personal basis. If you need documents and things like that for something that you happen to be doing. I remember when I was doing a loft conversion, I had all the plans and the building control and planning control and all those things, and I've got them all in a big box in my bottom drawer, and I don't like to go in there because it's a scary mess. But Notebook LM could help sort that out, and it's something, and that's where I think Notebook LM sort of shines, where you might have like a project book, and it becomes your assistant who deals with that and only that. But I'd need to play with it and see what I can pull from it.
And there are some places that won't look unless you've got a higher level um, of Gemini AI. For example, only some of these models will drill down into your calendars. Now I've got about 10 Google calendars, and I found that it was looking fine in my events personal, basic calendar on my account, but that's not the one I use. And in order to get it to drill down into my other calendars, for simple, tracking, like what date did we first start using the MeWe groups? It didn't know that because that was in my calendar, but it was in a different place in my calendar. And also into, like I said earlier about Google Drive, loads of details and documents. My whole digital life of letters, the stuff you were just describing, it's all been scanned over the years and it's in Google Drive. And at the moment, I can't get analysis of that because I'm not paying $17.99 a month. But if I did, then I could suddenly start using that, and that plugs into Notebook LM as well. And I think on this project-based thing, people are using it for creating spreadsheets and graphs as well. So if you chuck a load of data at it and say, which I did actually, I've forgotten that. I did that one time. I said, here is the Valley Diary, which is the magazine I'm the editor for. So here's the bank statement from the Valley Diary for last year. Can you give me a pie graph or a bar graph that shows me the ins and outs and what was spent on what and what? And sure enough, off it went and did it, and it did it brilliantly well. So you chuck data at it, and it can sift it and sort it. But I would definitely be interested in what you find if you play with it further.
Yeah, I was actually I have beside me because my car was in getting some work done to it on Thursday, and I was thinking, I do have an awful lot of invoices and things like that from previous times that I've put my car in for servicing, and maybe I should throw them all into Notebook LM for various different cars, and it can show me how much I've spent on my cars over the years, because I've got my older cars as well. I can put them all in there and see if it gives me an accurate readout of how stupid I'm being with my car. Because it would be able to read all the information and
Yes.
what's been replaced and the price that it cost at the time, and where I've maybe had an oil change or something like that. I would be able to ask it, how much have oil changes gone up since my old car back in, I don't know, when I first started keeping records. Yeah, I might do that. That's a project for me for the week.
Yeah, good for you. I'll tell you something it wouldn't do for me. It's supposed to give you prompts for replying to emails. So in Gmail on my desktop, if I get an email from someone, it gives you a bunch of replies based on what's in them and what it thinks you might want to say. Now it works absolutely fine, but what they are offering me ongoingly is at the beginning, hi. And it's only a little thing, but it's like whoever it is that sent me an email, hi, in the reply. So I went into Gemini and I said to her, look, I'm British and frightfully proud of it, and I don't. Hi is an Americanism, and I don't want my replies to be couched with Americanisms like hi. We say hello or dear. And so I got a reply from her, and she said, I acknowledge this, absolutely, no problem at all. From now on, I shall use British English and not suggest the word hi to you, but use hello instead. And then the next time I used it, it was hi again. So she wasn't, she clearly wasn't capable of learning that I didn't want to do that. In fact, let's try it now live on the. Oh, I haven't got a. Email.
Well, saying hi.
Francis. Oh, here we go. Francis. Francis sent me an email. I already replied to that. Summarise this email. So you get all these tools, summarise email and all that sort of thing. But the I'm trying to think of a live example from someone. The trouble is that I've replied to all my emails because I'm so well organised that I haven't got an incoming one that I haven't replied to. Oh yeah, right, here's one. Oh, that one, that hasn't put a hi in it. So perhaps it's learned now.
Oh, right, okay.
Perhaps it's turned tail on its previous failure.
Maybe it just forgot.
Yeah, maybe. I'll keep an eye on it. But it was interesting that. Oh, here's one. Look, hey. So they've now instead of using hi, they're using hey. So I've got this email from someone I know called David. Hey, David, I'm definitely on board with the rethinking this. Not hi, not hello. Anyway, so that clearly doesn't work. I did actually. The point I was going to make was though that for the first time this week, I did actually agree to use one of those canned replies because she had got just fine what it was easy to do. So I could see if you were a really busy professional, that kind of thing in Gmail would be really quick and easy to just get on board with and let her do it.
Yes, yeah. And I do think, we're all being forced to, put up with Americanizations in our English nowadays.
Yeah.
I have noticed myself opening emails with hi a bit more often. And it saves time as well. The salutations.
I just wanted hello, because whenever I send an email, I always use hello. I don't. Dear is really stuffy, and I don't want to do that. But hello is just nice.
My dear, that could work. My dear David. Yes, that sounds like you're an eccentric old writer from somewhere in back streets of London. Okay. All right, well, we'll move into the bargain basement because time is ticking on, and I've just noticed my phones are vibrating, which means my wife and son are back, and we're going out for lunch.
Ah.
Aha! And I've got a frog at the back of my throat.
I'll start off because I got the first one while you clear your army of frogs. The first one is the smallest 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack I think I've ever seen. When you click through to the Amazon page, if this photograph is accurate, it's just stunningly small. It's also got 45-watt fast charging once you've got your device plugged into it. USB-C in and out. As I say, 10,000 milliamp hours of battery in it. Yeah, I was just staggered at how small it was, and it's been reduced from 39 quid to 28. But it looks like the price is always up and down on that. But yeah, really dinky, isn't it?
It is, yes. I watched a review of this on YouTube quite recently, and it did pretty well. They compared it against another one, and they charged the same device that was down to 0%. I think it might have been Mr. Who's the Boss, actually, where he was doing, the smallest gadgetry. That's what it is. It's just, his newest video is all about tiny gadgets, and he had this in, and he compared it against another one that was small, and he said that this one, he doesn't know that it might be rounded up to 10,000 milliamp hours. It might actually be 9, whereas the other one that he was looking at might have been 10 exactly. But he didn't have as much nice things to say about this one as the other one. But I can't tell you about the price here because it won't let me buy one. But right. I do like that USB Type-C clip that it has that you can take with you and plug it in and put it on your keys or whatever if you need to.
Yeah, very cool.
It's lovely. And their design's very nice too, because I have the NEU, the slightly larger but less fat one, which is 10,000 milliamp hours, and it doesn't have, or it's got a wee kickstand as well, but it's a very well made device that I managed to snag off Amazon in the Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to get ahead here without coughing too much. Xiaomi's Smart Band 10 has been released, and it is reduced by 13% from £40 down to £34 and 73p. This is a 44mm AMOLED display rocking device that has 21 days of battery life, 150 different sport modes, sleep monitoring, 5 ATM waterproof. 5 ATM. 5.
I think that means it can. I think it means you can go down 5 meters with it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it actually stands for. But yes, withstand various different pressures and things like that. But yes, it does have a meaning.
Atmospheres. No.
That could be it. Yes, I think that's it. 5 atmospheres. Waterproof, and it's compatible with Android and iOS. So if you need a little fit band that lasts for bloody ever, this is the way forward for you. I love these. They're really cool.
Bloody ever. What I liked about the one that my late mum had, the Xiaomi one, was it also comes with this clip, and you can clip it to your clothing. You don't have to wear it around your wrist. It's got a little kind of clippy thing that you just take the strap off and clip this thing around it, and then put it on your lapel or wherever you want to put it. I really like that.
Yeah, they are. They're very handy.
Mm-hmm. So one shout out for them. Who needs a smartwatch, eh? Right, bookshelf speakers is next. And these ones are Edifier ones, the R990BT, Bluetooth 5.4 active bookshelf speakers. They're not particularly powerful, 24 watts, but they've got RCA and auxiliary outputs and inputs on the back. And they look very capable. I remember they're reduced from £100 to £60, and I seem to remember before that you were a fan of Edifier. In fact, I think you probably got some bookshelf Edifier speakers, and now I'm waffling because I can hear you shuffling around trying to get ready to speak next time. Are you back at your microphone?
No, I found it. I'm looking to see what ones mine are because I have them sitting here either side of my screen
Ah,
because they do look similar to these, but they're not quite. Mine have piano black covering on them, and they're the R990 BTs. Mine are the R1010 BTs.
okay.
But I absolutely adore them. They are really good sounding. I would say they're almost close to monitors. And I do want to get a DAC because sometimes whenever I'm listening to music, they can be so darn bassy that they are actually a wee bit off-putting. So I wouldn't mind
Right.
getting a DAC to plug them in just to shave off a wee bit of that high quality sound, handle it a bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For goodness sake, you're too good.
Yeah, go for these. I like them. And $59.99, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and they're active as well. I've got a pair of these speakers like this, but they're passive, which kind of means you've got to get some other kit involved in it. But these are just ready to go, aren't they?
They are. And there's a Connect X app. Wait, what? I did not know about that.
Oh yeah, app control. You're right. Connect X.
Oh, I'll have that. Right, I'll grab that. Because Edifier is one of the ones that I kind of fell out with recently because I have a lot of Edifier headphones and a few little Bluetooth speakers, and their app systematically just drops them as they get older to try and get you to buy the newer ones, and that bothers me a bit whenever they do that. But I'll go on and see if I can find my speakers on the app after the show and have a play with them.
Oh, I
and see
knew
if
the
can...
app. Yeah, I had a pair of Edifier earbuds, and I remember now that Connects app thingy. I had to download to make them work. So presumably that's the same one that works with these speakers. Yeah.
Yeah, I have used it before, I think, for my
Right.
bits and pieces, but that might be able to let me mess around with the sound settings a bit more. Yeah, cool. Staying with sound stuff, I bought a Hisense TV for my son before Christmas. It was for his birthday, actually. And I recently got him a Hisense soundbar as well to go with it. And it sounds fantastic. And I was quite chuffed with myself because I got it on a wee deal where it had been reduced from £150 down to £99. But it seems to be settled at £99 maybe for going forward. The sound out of it is superb. I'm really, really happy with this. And it's quite small too. It's not massive. It doesn't take over, well, the media unit in his room. And it's the Hisense HS3100, which is a 3.1 CH soundbar with 148 watts max audio, Dolby audio.
Good 480 watts.
Yes.
Is that a typo?
I think so, yes.
Blimey. No,
But
it says,
it's in there.
oh no! Oh, hang on a minute. 6 speakers, 480 watts total output power. Total 6 speakers deliver 480. Did it come with 6 speakers?
No, it didn't, but there is a 6-speaker version of it. I think it's the
okay.
Saturn or something it's called.
Oh, right.
Because I was debating whether or not I should go for that, but then it's for his bedroom, so I don't want him, causing the foundations of the house to shake apart whenever he's watching SpongeBob. But this sounds great. If you need a sound bar and you don't really want to spend too much, fire away with this. You'll be fine.
Cool.
99 quid.
Yeah, very good. Right, the Idea Tab Pro is next up, and this is the Lenovo's one of the more recent Android tablets, 12.7 inch, so we're back up to that bigger size tablet again. Nice and slim, although I don't think it's under 5mm slim like that Honor one. Dimensity 8300, which is okay. 128GB of storage and Wi-Fi 6, 8GB of RAM, and it comes with a pen, and it's been reduced from £380 to £280, and well, it's 279.99, and it looks really nifty. And my colleague on PSE, who's in the motivator program, same as me, when they sent him a phone the other day, they sent him one of these, Joe, and he's got one in hand to review. With the pen, they sent the pen as well. So I shall look forward to seeing, apart from the phone review he's going to do, what he thinks about this tablet. But it does look really nifty, and I quite fancy one myself.
Yeah, it's a really good price and it's a good size. I'll be keeping my ears to the ground for Joe's review then. Yeah, this looks good. Cool. Next up is a wee holiday gadget that you might need at some point. Well, I suppose you're not really going to take it. I got one of these for the kitchen. I don't know. I just thought maybe it would suit someone for a holiday if they're going away to stay in a caravan or something. I don't know. This is a master plug with 3 sockets and it's fused. You plug it into the wall and you can plug in 3 different plugs in that old-fashioned adapter kind of way. You remember the wee white square adapters that you plug into a plug socket, and it would give you 2 or 3 plugs around it. It does that where it's got 2 on the side, 1 on the front, but above it it's got USB Type-C and USB Type-A, so you can plug quite a lot into a really small sized device. So if you don't want a 4-gang or something like that hanging out of your wall, or one of those, my wife has one in the kitchen that I replaced this with. Yeah, it's a plug that goes in and then it's got 4 plugs underneath it. You know, it's like a point. I think it's a stupid thing. But yeah, that's what this is. So you can plug in your your phone, your kettle, your microwave, and things if you're in one corner of the kitchen without having to have all kinds of bits of, I don't know, charge cables and stuff like that knocking around. Really nice little device, and it's only £8.49. It's down from 11 at the moment. So worth picking up if you need one. And it's fused as well, so it won't blow things up if something goes wrong.
If you click around on the other options on that Amazon page, there are some interesting slight variations. There's a surge protection one with 3 switches on it, which you can isolate each of the 3 pin plugs on it as well.
I don't know if I would trust a £9 plug with surge protection.
Maybe not.
Yeah. But anyway, if it's fused, at least that way you know what fuse you're putting into it.
Yeah. Right, we were talking about Chromebook Pluses earlier, and here's one that's been reduced recently from 429 to 329, and I've done the math. I've done the math on this. If we're going to be American, I've done the maths on this, and this is the Chromebook Plus 516 by Acer. Okay, and it's got a i3 chipset and 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gig of storage, 16-inch screen, but it also comes with 1 year still of Gemini AI Pro. Okay, so if you pay £329 for this, and you were going to get AI Pro anyway, like I'm deliberating, take the £227.88 off of the £329, because you might well be paying that to Google anyway over the next 12 months. It comes down to £102.11. So if you can make use of that part of the deal, then you've got a really capable 16-inch Chromebook Plus from Acer, the 516, for £102.11. This must be bargain basement of the year.
Well, it could well be. I would opt for that i5 version more so, which is £399, but at 70 quid extra, I'd much rather have the i5. Yeah.
I do agree with you, but the trouble with that is that it's not reduced, so it's hardly qualifies for bargain basement. I'm sorry, you can't have that.
I would argue that it is reduced. They just haven't printed it there, because the i3 version is normally £429, and you're not going to price the i3 device above the i5 device. That would be suicide for a company.
You do still get the 12 months of AI Well, they're out of date with this, aren't they? Because they've got AI Premium, and it's not. It's AI Pro. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, either one.
And the i5 is traditionally £480.
Oh, okay.
So they just haven't printed the price reduction. So two very good deals there. If you just can't stretch to it, the i3 will still do, but the i5 is the way forward. At £400 for that is really good with Ted's savings. Nice one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Tempting. But I don't want another Chromebook, thanks.
No.
I've been burnt before. The last one is a lark. I wouldn't recommend anyone buys one of these, but it's still worth just mentioning because the stupidity of it. This is the Click Kid, that is CLICKID Cam 20. This is an all-in-one digital camera with a 48 megapixel 1080p photography lens that can do full HD video for vlogging no less, with a 16 times zoom, a 2.4 inch IPS display, and a 32 gigabyte micro SD card thrown in to boot. There's also a tripod in there too, and an extra battery. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, where can I spend my money, and how much of that money am I going to have to spend for such a phenomenal deal? Well, that would be over on Amazon, because it's $9.99, but there is a voucher that takes 15% off if you purchase it. Although people from Northern Ireland can't bloody purchase it. Not that I'm running out to buy one of these, because I've got a funny feeling that the word shite is going to turn up in many of the reviews. Ted, what do you think of this? You like your camera creations, don't you?
It's got a big yellow flag on it. Frequently returned.
Well, do you know who it's actually made by?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I was trying to work out why they put a link to the Majority store in there, because if you click through to that, the Majority is the place that I got my lovely record player from, and it's gorgeous, it's really nice. But if you click through to the Majority store, there's no mention of cameras anywhere.
No.
I reckon that oh yes there is under deals and offers. All in one, yeah. So it is. They are behind it then. Majority. Those two blokes in that garage in Cambridge.
I'm not seeing a camera under the deals.
Deals and offers.
No,
yes.
I've only got a radio alarm clock.
Yes, because of Northern Ireland, isn't it? But next to it, I promise you, next to it here, it shows that camera. £8.49. What are they up to? These two blokes in their garage thought to themselves, there's a container that's turned over in the sea, and we've been offered the salvage rights on these cameras, and they're coming from China. We'll flog them out.
Oh yeah, I hadn't actually noticed the badge up in the corner saying Cambridge, UK.
Yeah.
2-year warranty.
It's those two guys who we were talking about them before, and you got to tip your hat to them, because they started this little firm Majority off from absolutely nothing, and they just the first few things they built by hand themselves, and they built it up, and good for them.
And it only takes a couple of products like this to destroy. I can't imagine this is going to be anything worth. I guess they are obviously positioning this toward give this to your 8-year-old and let them run around and pretend to be a vlogger, or take it on holiday with them. But it's got to have a horrifying ISO, or if at all. Additional details is there? It's got a CMOS sensor. It takes photographs in JPEG. It's got optical image stabilization. Expanded ISO minimum is 100.
Wow. I wonder what they're up to stocking this. It's really strange.
Image quality. Lens details. Right, okay. It's a 16mm lens. 16 times optical zoom. Awful
picture quality. Battery dead on arrival. Won't charge. Not even worth £8.49.
Well, if majority are able to make a wee bit of money off selling something like this, and it keeps their higher quality products alive, then yeah, keep the wolf from the door that way.
Yes,
You can
indeed.
throw one of these at your kid, and they'll think that they're really cool running around, being a member of the press and being able to vlog.
Yeah. And talking about higher quality products, the last one that I throw in as a bonus, which we discovered just before we were recording today, is that the Marshall Monitor 3 headset, which I've got a set of here, and I was trying to convince you before the show that you ought to buy some, is have been reduced from 299 to 239 with a voucher. And they're really, really nice. And so I'll be interested to see if you do come down on that side rather than Sony. But we were saying before the show that the Sony has got the edge definitely on ANC. And if you're in a noisy environment, then the Marshalls, lovely as they are not quite as good in that respect.
Wow, it's one of those things that you feel that you know what you're going to be doing, but with something just coming in like that, I don't know. I don't want to regret it because I've had my heart set on a set of XM6s for a while,
Yeah.
and I've kind of put it off, going, I'll get them next month. I'll get them next month, and I need to get a new pair of headphones. And now Ted has just has just thrown this in and
but you
caused
need
me upset.
but you need the ANC, don't you? Particularly. So these probably are not going to be.
Do I need that really? You know what? I'll use them on the train. I'll use them on the plane. I'll use them. That's about it, really. I'm sure it'll do quite well for that. But putting them into like versus.com, the XM6s get 92 points, and Marshall Monitor 3 gets 79 points. What do they mark it down on? Build quality gets 9.2 for the Marshalls, whereas the Sonys get 10. Sound quality 10.
I totally
9.9.
hang on a minute. I totally disagree with that. The Marshall ones are much better made than the Sony ones. The Sony ones are all plasticky, and the Marshalls might be plastic as well because they're very light, but they feel like they're really solid, and they've got the Marshall kind of signature design language as well. I question that build quality one.
Oh wait,
carry
no,
on.
I'm wrong. Actually, I'm reading the colours the wrong way round.
Ah,
I am a touch colourblind here and there, but yes, the Marshalls are blue and the Sony is red. So the Marshall is better build quality, better sound quality, slightly better value for money, more comfortable, but not as good on noise isolation. It scores
no.
an 8, whereas the Sony scores 10.
Yeah, I would say that's probably quite accurate. It's not as good, but where it beats it hands down is 100 hours of battery. That's without ANC on. So if you put ANC on, you get 70 hours. But even so, that's completely outstrips the Sony.
Sony's have 40,000 hertz, as their highest frequency, whereas the Marshalls only have 20,000 hertz. The driver size in the Marshalls 32 millimeters, the Sony's are 30. Impedance is 35 as opposed to 48 on the Sony's. The Sony's have spatial audio, Marshalls don't.
Yeah, there are pros and cons.
Sound pressure level 117 decibels on the Marshalls as opposed to 103 on the Sony's. It's a difficult one, but maybe I should support British. And also the Marshalls are, as you say, 250 quid, wasn't it?
Made in
240.
China. British stuff that used to be British, which is now working out of Sound Industries in Sweden, but actually made in China. So I shouldn't worry too much about that.
Oh, it's a tough one, that. It really is. I don't know. I'll come back to you in a couple of weeks, and I'll probably put it off until next month. Or the following month. I'll buy them in March. Yeah. All right, well, that rounds out our podcast for the week. If you want to get in touch with us, and for the season, actually, you can contact us by emailing me at gareth@techaddicts.uk. I'm also on Twitter as well. There's TechAddictsUK, and also Gareth Miles, GarethMyles. I have Mastodon and Blue Sky and have used them once or twice. I also have my GarethMiles.com, which I think there's a link to my Ko-Fi. I'm not sure if you want to buy me a coffee, but I would prefer you to buy Ted a coffee, and he'll tell you how to now.
PayPal.me/Ted Salmon is where you can buy me a copy. Yes, Gareth's got far too much money, so buy me one. TedSalmon.com is my home on the web, and most of my time I'm in MeWe. But at TedSalmon.com you've got links to all of the MeWe groups and all of our other audio podcasts. So make sure you tune in and visit, or else.
Or else. Right, okay. Quite threatening. Okay, well, we'll catch us all in a month's time when we'll be back at the start of April.
April, yeah.
April, yeah. What date is that in April? April the 5th?
6th, is it, or something?
5th of April, yeah.
Right.
And other than that, have a lovely March. What happens in March? We've got Paddy's Day. Easter's not in March, it's in April, isn't it?
I don't know. It changes every year depending on some religious thing.
But the chocolate eggs are in the shop, so go crazy, go nuts. And also Project Hail Mary comes out in March. That's what the exciting thing about March is. All right, we'll catch you in April. Take care now.
And don't forget to tune into the lovely Projector Room podcast in the meantime. Goodbye.